Welcome to the Freed from Stuck podcast. Our special guest today is Dr. Lindsay Regehr, owner of Elite Chiropractic and Wellness in Denver, Colorado. We'll be talking about Beyond the Wack and Crack, chiropractic care that helps you become and stay freed from stuck. Your host is Susie Hayes, psychotherapist, hypnotherapist, life and business coach, and author of Freed from Stuck. Hi, this is Susie Hayes. Welcome to my podcast, Freed from Stuck. My guest today is Dr. Lindsey Regehr, owner of Elite Chiropractic and Wellness. She claims that there is more to chiropractic work than whacking and cracking your spine. She has big dreams for her patients, and she uses a unique focus and technology that she'll be talking about later. So I want to welcome you, Dr. Lindsay. So good to see you.
Yes, thank you for having me. Good to see you too.
Absolutely. So obviously, people come to you primarily with health issues, physical pain, immobility, injury that they're seeking healing. Tell me, how do you connect those needs, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday, which I thought was really intriguing, that you connect dealing with those health needs with people's life goals. I want to know more about how you do that.
Yeah, so when new patients come in and they call me, they're saying, hey, I'm having some back pain, I'm having some wrist pain, ankle pain. I'm like, okay, so come on in, let's do an assessment, see what's happening. And I ask them all the normal questions that a doctor would ask, but what I really focus on are their life goals. And a lot of times people are like, well, I want to be healthy, I want to be fit, and those are the two goals. So what does healthy and fit look like to you? Yes. So, yeah.
So it's really, they bring a problem to you about wherever their pain is or their issue is, and you identify it in terms of the health needs, but it sounds like you take it to a deeper level, which is really kind of what I do in terms of helping people get free from stuck, that there's the problem, and then there's the real problem, or there's the real source to help with the problem. And what you've identified is that's about connecting with life goals. So how do you take them to a deeper level of identifying their life goals? Because they're probably not used to being asked that question in a chiropractic setting, yes?
Yes, definitely. So for example, I had a patient come in last week and one of his goals, be healthy.
Okay.
Like, okay, what does that look like for you? He has 5 kids, and he has one child who smokes, which is totally fine. That's his thing. But this patient, he's like, well, I quit smoking so that I could be a role model to my child and tell them that it is possible. I was like, okay, so that's like a path to health. And I'm like, what else do you think about being healthy? He's like, well, one of my kids could lose a little bit of weight and I could use a little bit of weight. So I want to show them by example that being healthy is that you can get down to this weight, you can maintain it, and you can be healthy so that we can actually go hiking and not be exhausted the rest of the day. So his led deeper from weight loss to hiking and not being exhausted for the whole rest of the weekend. So,
excellent, yes.
Yeah, so that was the main goal then. So your goal wasn't to be healthy. Your goal is to be able to be active and enjoy life and then not have to sleep for the next 2 days.
Yes, and recover.
Yes, recover.
Yes, yes. So you're really identifying what I talk about in the book in terms of what's your real destination, and to be able to really get there, you have to be able to connect with what emotionally charges people, what's connected to their core values, what's really important. So this father held several core values. One was that he wanted to step up and be a good role model for his children. That was a real core value. Like, it's important for me to show up in that way. And part of that was, I want to show my children a non-smoking lifestyle. I want to model for them and support them in losing weight. And obviously, both of those were really connected to his heart in a very real way, because when he was able to understand his health issue connected to his heart's desire, then you've got a charge there, an emotional charge that magnetizes him toward his goal more effectively?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, good. And so you just started working with him last week.
Yes.
Okay, so any feedback with regard to his progress or what's going on yet, or is it too early to know?
Yeah, so he came in for neck pain, and that's kind of chiropractic bread and butter right there. So
Right.
that's the easy part. And now the part that takes progress is how do we improve the overall health? Because one of the side benefits of chiropractic is having that increased energy. So that will then lead on to him being able to have more energy to exercise and have more energy to go hiking. And so we're working towards getting his whole body functioning like it should so that he can have those side benefits, which is what I call them.
Yes. So he can hike without having to recover afterwards.
Yes.
Yes. So in terms of you initially helped alleviate the physical pain, but you really took him beyond that in terms of more important interests and values and activities that he wanted to be engaged in. What kind of strategies or resources do you provide for him then to help him sustain his progress in that not only healing process from the pain, but improving his health?
Yes. So I consider myself to be my patient's wellness coach, meaning that I do have a background as a personal trainer, and I come from also a physical therapy background. So as we make physical progress, we're able to add in more exercises that I can prescribe. And as far as having other resources, I have a network of massage therapists, I have acupuncture, nutritionists, health coaches. So I have a wide range of resources for my clients. And also, if they need someone to be accountable for them, I will be texting them and calling them and asking them, hey, did you do your exercises today? Did you go to the gym? How is it going this week? And for example, I have another patient. We started about a month ago, and he's down 13 pounds. And it's just a matter of me asking him every time I see him, what did you do today? What did you do yesterday? So I'm very, very accountable to my patients and try to keep them on track so that we can keep them progressing to meet their goals in the best and quickest and most effective way possible.
I think that's a unique service that is often not offered or isn't considered important in many healthcare professions, is that piece of accountability. Because sometimes they will come into your office and they will receive treatment and they'll get some guidelines and some suggestions from you, and they leave the office, and with some practitioners there's no real contact after that. So it sounds like there is something that's very important for you in the work that you're doing, that you want patients who are committed to doing the work that they need to do, and that you're there to support them in any way possible, but that you really want them to see progress and sustain progress and potentially to build on that.
Yes.
Now, I have kind of an interesting side question with regard to your expertise both in chiropractic work and in physical therapy, because historically there's been some tension between those two disciplines, yes?
Yes.
So how do you marry those two together?
Yeah. Well, in a previous life, I was planning on being a physical therapist, and I have spent so many hours shadowing and researching and working at offices. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do physical therapy. And then life just took me another direction. And then I started working at a chiropractic office. And happened to be a chiropractor who did incorporate sports rehab into chiropractic. And of course, my mind was blown. I thought it had to be one or the other.
Yes.
So yeah, it was great to see that you can make them both work together. And what I see in my clients is that when you do the chiropractic, that does, I'm fixing the entire nervous system and everything is functioning better. But also we have to retrain those muscles, and we have to get them doing exercises, get them moving, because another thing that I honestly truly believe in is that mobility and movement is life. And I need to get the spine moving, but I also need to get their muscles moving and get them to achieve their goals.
And it's not that how can I say this differently? You don't want them to keep coming back for the same issue over and over again, correct?
Correct.
That might be good for your pocketbook, but it really doesn't do anything with regard to their improvement in health, their healing process, or even their own autonomy of self-care.
Yes.
So it sounds like you're really wanting to not just be there for the chiropractic adjustment piece and the alignment piece, but you really want to give them tools and skills to be able to sustain a healthier lifestyle really for the rest of their life.
Yes, it's definitely a lifestyle change, and it doesn't have to happen overnight. And just by small lifestyle changes, as in taking out some inflammatory foods, or maybe just walking if you weren't doing any exercise at all, and just trying to find some sort of activity that brings you joy, because mental wellness is also very important. Finding ways to de-stress. So I'm here to give them all the resources so that when they come in with that initial problem, let's fix that. And then let's get you to where you want to be, where you're well and healthy, and hopefully that problem does not come back again.
So you're not having to repeat the same problem.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what unique resources or strategies do you bring to your patients? You had mentioned earlier the use of technology in your work. Tell us about that.
Yes. So this is so fun for me. So this technology that I use is called the Insight Scan. And what it is, it's 3 scans, and it really gives me objective findings of what's happening to your spine and your nervous system. So the 3 readings will do a thermal scan of the spine, tells me where there's, like, you can say hot spots and cold spots on the spine. So where there's nervous system interference. And then when that nerve has pressure on it, every single organ, gland, muscle, tissue, ligament that is supplied by that nerve is not functioning like it should. So some people, for example, they might be having digestive issues, and it shows up on the scan like, oh yeah, it looks like right here that you're having some interference, and that makes sense. And then the second scan that I do is a muscle tension test. So a lot of us have very poor posture, and that definitely shows up on the scans. It shows me where you have increased tension, maybe where you're lacking muscle strength and awareness. A lot of people have weak core muscles, so that shows up quite often. And then the last scan that I do is called a heart rate variability, and it's essentially a stress test. And if you think about yourself like a giant cell phone, when you plug in at night, you want your battery to recharge to 100%, right?
Yes.
So this is basically telling me when you're operating throughout the day, are you operating at 100% battery, or are you only charging yourself up at night to like 50%? And once you run out of reserves in your body, that's when things start to break down. That's when a cold can lead to pneumonia, can lead to something worse than that. That's when falling off or like misstepping off a curve can turn into not only a sprained ankle, but a broken ankle. So when your body lacks the ability to adapt to stress, that's when it starts to turn into dysfunction and disease and poor health, and then all the symptoms that people experience. So
there's a preventive element in that as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So yep, all those scans basically give me a baseline of where you're at right now. And the whole point is to get your stress levels mentally to decrease, and then increase your adaptability to stress, make sure we get rid of that interference, so everything's functioning like it should, and then decrease that muscle tension.
So all of us that are in the healing profession work with people who come to points in their process, even in the best laid out plans, where they fall short, they don't follow through, maybe even they kind of try to wiggle out of working with you, or they just don't do what they know that they should do. What do you do with your patients? How do you address that when that happens for you?
So when I have patients come in, new clients come in, I give them my recommendations for care. And sometimes people are like, no, I just can't commit to that. And I say, okay, that's fine. Think about this as your GPS. When you want to get to point A to point B as fast as you can and as efficient as you can, then you need to follow this care plan. And I'm willing to work with you if the schedule doesn't work, but I just need you to know that you may not have the best results and it may take a little bit longer. So I try to tell them up front that I base my recommendations based on what I know works. And it's a two-way street. So I keep myself accountable by doing progress exams. And then I also ask them how their progress is doing. And then I ask them, are you doing the exercises that I told you to do? Are you keeping up with the nutrition? So it has a lot to do with me asking and following up to see if they actually are following recommendations, because that really does determine what their outcome is going to be.
So it sounds like initially part of what you do is really assess the level of readiness that people have for doing the work that they need to do with you.
Yes.
And the awareness that there may be something going on at another level that they need to attend to, that there might be emotional components, or there might be obstacles either externally or internally that they are either sharing with you or they're keeping private, that constrain them from being able to follow through with your recommendations. And so part of what you're identifying is that the people that are most successful with you are at a point of readiness to follow through with the plan and to use the structure of support and accountability to move forward and to reach their destination, their goal, their point of success. And again, that goal being connected to really what is heartfelt, what is meaningful for them. And if there are things going on for them at a deeper level, that's something that they really, it sounds like they either need to have a conversation with you about, or maybe need to refer out to deal with those in order to release that and be able to move forward and do the work that you want to do with them and that you're capable of doing with them.
Yes, definitely. And I think the most surprising thing about new clients is that I dive really deep into their lives and we really get to know each other. So I always ask, what was your favorite thing about today at your new appointment? And they're always like, you really ask a lot of questions and you really dive in. I'm like, yeah, I need to know the whole story in order to understand if I can help you and if you're ready to be helped.
And that is the cultivation of the trust in relationship with your patients.
Yes.
Yes. And it's that trust that sustains the work and keeps them on task with you and coming back even when they might be discouraged or they might fail to follow through with something, but they know that they can come back and talk with you about that and seek a way to get beyond that.
Yes, definitely.
So as we're kind of wrapping up today, I want to give you an opportunity. Any additional thoughts, anything that you feel is important for the audience to know about your services or about you?
Yeah, so my passion is to keep people moving and enjoying life for as long as possible. And that usually comes to me in a form of some kind of symptom. But I just want to educate and make the connection that good health is really the key to enjoying life, because without good health, you're really going to be held back from achieving a goal, no matter how big or small. So I just really, really need people to know that it's more about me educating you. And if I can help you, I am more than happy to help.
So the education is really an important piece of your work.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Dr. Lindsay, for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you for having me.
And you have a great day.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Be sure and contact Dr. Lindsay Regehr at Elite Chiropractic and Wellness in Denver, Colorado. Her phone number is 720-509-9379. Dare to dream big with Dr. Lindsay. And feel free to contact me, Susie Hayes, here for you, psychotherapy, hypnosis, coaching. I'm the author of Freed from Stuck. Contact me at www.freedfromstuck.com.